Hello and welcome to Action Toon Bros. My name is Matthew Lewis.
And I'm Ben Sturgeon.
And we are covering more Young Justice, specifically Season 2.
Yep, we finally got there.
Finally, a bit of a time jump in the series, and things are really advancing now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, but oh my goodness, is there a time lapse here.
Yeah. And a lot of new villains and a lot of new stuff. So let's jump right into Season 2, Episode 1, Happy New Year!
Actually, okay, side note, this would be hilarious if you actually put it up on New Year's Day.
We're gonna still be off from by then probably. Who knows? Who knows who schedules this stuff?
But now let's actually start this off.
It opens with the last couple seconds of the previous season with the people talking about the 6 members of the League: Superman, Hawkgirl, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern, and Batman. And the 16 hours that they have missing.
Which, of course, we still don't know because from the last time it was like, hey, these guys had 16 hours. And it was like, what did we do? Yeah,
and then did we get the Chiron of like the 5-year jump when we cut to an underground city?
I was going to say, after that, it does the jump to...
5 years later, and we see underneath the city, we see Superboy, now with some cool tactical gloves.
Mm-hmm. Are they tactical, or were they just like regular gloves?
I think I assume they're tactical. Who the heck knows? He doesn't have a different outfit or anything, but...
we don't actually see where we are, but we can assume where we actually are, because...
Some gray goop in the sewers.
Yep, some big old gray goop comes around, and... Spoilers, it's Clayface!
So we're probably in Gotham. If we're
I was going to say, it doesn't say, but let's assume we're there.
He doesn't really operate much over there, but he pops out of the sewer goop, and he envelops Superboy and says, oh, even a Kryptonian needs to breathe. Which I was just like, wait a second, do they? Because Soups can sometimes fly in space for a long time without having to breathe.
I don't think they actually do, but
he's also half Kryptonian. It depends. Sometimes he doesn't need a spacesuit, sometimes he doesn't, but he's half Kryptonian. So
he is half, so...
we see him getting smothered just as Miss Martian comes down and saves him now with a cool short haircut.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I know. Is her outfit any different?
No, her outfit looks the same. It's just her hair is different.
Okay, well we see her does she just explode him out or just psychically pull him out of Clayface?
I think.
And then we see Robin come and strikes him with some shock boomerangs that don't do anything.
But wait a minute. You said it's Robin.
Yeah.
This isn't Dick Grayson Robin, though.
Are you sure he doesn't just have a haircut?
No, because he sounds different, too.
He does sound very different.
And he's shorter, too.
He's also... they all look different, but he looks very, very different. And we see his shock boomerangs don't do anything, but the Superboy... Does he throw some weird foam pills? And
he has like this weird like freezy foam pill that he literally like tosses in, and Clayface is like, huh? Gulp.
Yeah, and just like boof and foams up and freezes, kind of. Yep. And this is when we see that the Robin isn't Dick Grayson as a weird little monkey, or the alligator flops into the ocean. And
the alligator like flops in, and then all of a sudden it turns into a weird
monkey boy.
Monkey boy. Which, if anyone knows anything from previous DC things, it's Beast Boy.
Yeah, and he even picks up is it a piece? What did he pick up for the trophy?
Oh, his souvenir?
Yeah.
The smell.
Oh, yeah, he says, I didn't even get a trophy. And it's like, oh.
And then we see one of your favorite characters fly in.
One of my favorite? You mean Blue Beetle?
Yeah.
And Bumblebee show up?
Yeah, I thought Blue Beetle was one of yours.
He's one of my mains in Injustice, too.
Oh, he's just the main. I thought he was one of your favorite characters.
He's alright.
Yeah, okay. But still, either way, we see Blue Beetle and Bumblebee.
And Bumblebee are on the team now, as we see it's January 1st in Gotham City.
Yes, it is.
And they are reporting in to Nightwing. This is when we get the 5 years later thing.
Yeah, this is when we actually find out that from season 1 to here now, 5-year jump.
Yep, and we get the new title of the season is the Young Justice Invasion.
Invasion, yes.
Yeah, very, very cool.
And then, of course, we cut back after all of that happened. We cut back to Mount Justice, and we see Lagoon Boy.
Yeah, Lagoon.
Or Lagoon. I'm just going to keep calling him Lagoon because Lagoon Boy, this is a dumb name.
It's a very, very dumb name. He's a very, very minor Aquaman character. He was in the first season.
Was he in the first season?
He was in the, when Calderon was in that magic school for young Atlanteans. You see a very young him in the group.
Okay, I think I might have noticed it, but now I'm going to have to rewatch it just so I can point it out.
Also, he might be a rename of a character who appeared in the Teen Titans original show called Tram, who had a very similar power and a very similar look.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
Yeah.
But, of course, Lagoon Boy is sparring with Nightwing, and Nightwing obviously wins.
Of course, because it's goddamn Dick Grayson.
Yeah, spoilers. It's Dick Grayson, even though everyone knows that's Nightwing.
We see Mal is dating Bumblebee, who she says, hey, I can't hang around Mal. I gotta go work with Dr. Palmer, who is the Atom.
Yep.
And that means that's where she gets her powers and her suits from, is like the Atom, just like
right. That's right. Palmer is Atom. And of course, Mal's just like, yeah, okay. Sad face.
Yep. We see Lagan greet McGann with a kiss. He's like, "Oh, hey,
it's
Angel
like,
Fish."
And of course, Connor just walks by like kind of like gruff about it. He's just, I'm hitting the showers.
Yeah, what the heck? What's up with that?
Yeah, I wish we had context.
Yeah,
but anyway,
we see Captain Atom is there to give them a mission on behalf of the UN being attacked.
The UN HQ is under attack by some kind of force.
Some kind of main man.
And of course he as they're getting this mission, Nightwing's like, hey, let's just send Beta Squad. They're close by.
Yep.
And then we cut to the UN HQ in New York City, where the main man Lobo appears, and he's
going after the relation leader. I don't know if it's not North or South one, but I think it's.
I think it was just like the UN.
No, that was the same relation guy from the previous season that was attacked by the light.
Actually, I think they call him something else.
He has a name, but
they call him by his title eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway, but here's the weird thing about Lobo. He's not all about being the main man. He's all about speaking that weird language.
Some weird. He keeps saying Kareem.
Kareem.
You keep hearing him say his own name.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like the UN relation guy is like, I don't know what you're saying. Presses a button. He's like, okay, you're gonna play this game, huh?
Yeah, you're gonna mess with the main man like this. And he says that he was told to put on a scene for the locals, whatever that could possibly mean.
Yeah, we don't know, because immediately after he's about to kill this UN representative, we get Wonder Girl.
Yep, Cassie Sandsmark, the second Wonder Girl, not
the second one.
Yep, and she is voiced by Mae Whitman from Avatar, Katara's voice actress,
of course,
and from Arrested Development, is
right.
Main thing. And also we see Batgirl jumps in to help the relation leader away. Because Wonder Girl has to go up against Lobo because she's the only one who possibly could.
That's what they call him, by the way. They call him the Secretary General.
Secretary General?
Yeah, but he is the relation guy, but apparently he's gotten promoted or something to Secretary General.
But there's a huge fight between Lobo beats the crap out of Wonder Girl twice.
Yeah, twice.
Even though they do go toe to toe for a little bit as Batgirl keeps hiding them. And then finally they go down the elevator, they fight again, but then he eventually gets his hands on the leader
and rips him apart. But don't worry, kids. This is still okay for you to watch, because the Secretary General was a robot with a tiny alien inside of him.
A little green man inside.
It was yellow.
You're greenish.
Yeah,
we see them later. They're
joking aside, it was one of those teeny tiny little thing, and all of a sudden Lobo just picks him up and says, "The contract's been fulfilled." Explodes the wall and jumps on his awesome motorbike and flies to space.
He locks the guy in a weird little arm and neck restraints in front of his bike. He always does that stuff.
I hope we see him more, because this version of Lobo is freaking awesome.
All versions of I've only seen a handful of bad ones, and they've been in the comics.
Well, the one I was kind of meh about was the Justice League one, where he was just a silly side character.
I liked him in Superman TAS. Was he still voiced by Brad Garrett in the
I
Justice
think he
League?
was. I'd have to look it up, but I think he was.
In Superman TAS, he was amazing in those episodes. Whatever.
I bet he was.
But we finally cut to news anchor G. Gordon Godfrey, voiced by Tim Curry.
But yeah, we finally get to see G. Gordon in this universe. And of course, he's being the J. Jonah Jameson of this world by conspiring. Oh, the Justice League, what are they doing about this? We see a bigger alien taking out a little alien.
Yeah, an alien posing as a world leader. What could this mean?
And of course, he mentions Superman and Martian Manhunter. How they're apparently okay, but all these other ones.
Yeah, and also if you are a DC Comics fan, you know who G. Gordon Godfrey really is.
Which I don't, actually, because I've never read the comics.
Well, I don't want to spoil it. Well, you've seen the series before.
Yeah, but they haven't. So let's not do that spoiler.
I could say his real name, but it wouldn't make any difference to. Yeah, well, Glorious Godfrey. you know,
Okay.
yeah, don't worry.
You're right. That
He's an important person. He's a very,
But as he's doing this whole conspiracy thing, he's like, oh, we're gonna cut to our cat Grant, who is going to try to get some answers from the Justice League at the Hall of Justice.
Yep.
Where Cat does. I mean, she's doing her reporter thing, trying to get answers.
We see that Rocket and Zatanna are members of the League.
Yes,
now.
Because they're entering in, and of course she's like,
what's
going on?
Yeah,
and they're just like, no comment.
Yep, and then we see a weird, pretty lady, French lady with a weird honeybee haircut saying, no questions, no questions.
Yeah, no questions. They'll give out a statement soon.
Yep.
In which we find out her name is Catherine
Colbert.
Colbert.
She is a very, very, very minor character from the comics.
Yeah, see, I literally had to look her up, and even then it was just like, yeah, she was a liaison for the UN, and now she is for the Justice League. Done.
Yeah, that's it. We see Jon Stewart giving everyone the rundown on Lobo, saying he's a bounty hunter. Or he's giving the League rundown on the bounty hunter.
Saying that Lobo's actually a bounty hunter.
Yep, and the alien was a Krolataean.
First
time we're hearing that name, we're going to hear it a bunch.
Oh, but Lobo works alone. Krolataeans always work in groups. Which means that everyone has to, take a look and find them since they work in groups.
Yeah,
which we get our introduction from Martian Manhunter
to Adam Strange, a regular-looking man in the coat. I wrote "big deal" in the comics. He's a big deal,
right?
And in the Krypton TV show on Sci-Fi Channel.
Ah, okay.
Also, he's a major character. Yeah, in all stuff.
He's Stars Labs. He works for Star Labs on the Airedale Initiative.
He works on the Zeta beams for the League and for other people.
Zeta tubes, not boom tubes.
Yeah, Zeta beams and Zeta tubes, Zeta energy, all that weird stuff. We see that while he tells them that while doing his research, he accidentally traveled to Rann, of the famous Rann Thanagar Wars in the comics, met a scientist there that taught him more about how the beams work and of the recent heist of that scientist's technology off of Rann. Mm-hmm. John says that the Krolataeans love stealing technology and that's how their whole society runs. Adam Strange says the tech was tracked by the aliens back to Earth, and the League can't investigate this because the 6 members who disappeared.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they do mention that there's like one base on Rann, but there's like a whole bunch of them on Earth, and of course, Adam's like, we're gonna do a 2-pronged attack. A whole bunch of groups are gonna stay here on Earth, while another group of us are going to go to Rann. Yep. And that's when Adam mentions that because of the 16 hours with the other 6 members, humans are persona non grata on Rann.
Specifically the 6...
Earthlings are, sorry.
Well, hey, we don't specify yet, but...
no, I think he does specify.
He's very vague, but he's also puts a picture of the 6 Leaguers, and they say, oh, this must have to do with the 16 hours. Everyone's like, oh, what's going on? Mm-hmm. But they say that even though they have pictures of them all Leaguers are banned. So Nightwing's like, well, we could send the Young Justice team after them because they don't know them yet.
Right, and then of course they're just like, Adam's just like, yes, good idea.
Yep, and this is when we learn that Nightwing, McGann, and Connor were all invited to join the League, but chose not to do so at this point.
Yep, they're happy with where they're at.
Yep, and this is when finally we cut back to the Justice Mountain, and we get designated into their teams for this mission.
Yep. And of course the plan is go to everywhere, destroy the platforms while finding humans that could have been abducted.
Yep, for all the Krolataean bases on Earth. We see...
And now it's time for... it's group time with Mal as the coordinator of all of this.
Yeah, he's telling everybody. We see Alpha Team is going to be Nightwing and Wonder Girl. They're going to Philadelphia.
Yep.
We have... Oh, you want to see Beta Team?
Yeah, Beta Team, we got Batgirl, Bumblebee, and Wolf.
Yeah.
Their target is...
Vladivostok?
I can never say that word. I'm sorry. But I know it's kind of a big deal in the DC, if I remember correctly.
Is that the town where Vertigo and them are from, or no?
I think, but I also know in Justice League, Wonder Woman befriends the princess of that place where Vandal Savage was taken
that episode,
over. I just know it's a place in DC that's familiar.
Cool episode, but yeah.
But who's on
Gamma Team? The lame team who always gets the soft jobs. It's Blue Beetle, the second Robin, and Lagoon Boy are taking New Orleans. And this is when we get a side. The whole time Lagoon's really upset because he wants a really tough job, and Gamma Team's on the third.
But Gamma always gets the soft gigs.
But this is when we finally have Nightwing take this second Robin aside, and we find out it is Tim Drake.
which I was excited because I know I know Tim Drake from season 4 of Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like him because he's a sassy little guy.
I think I know him from back in the early aughts in the 90s when I was reading Teen Titans comics. He was always the leader of the Teen Titans in that series.
It's not Dick.
No, Dick's already Nightwing by the time the Teen Titans start getting formed regularly. He's already out in
now in the cartoon. Is that Dick? In the Teen Titans animation?
They purposely are vague about it, but they've given enough hints that is likely Dick.
Okay, yeah, right. But anyway.
But yeah, this is, we also, periodically in the background, we keep seeing Jaime Reyes, a.k.a. Blue Beetle, seemingly talking to himself, and everyone's just weirded out by it, but they never really address why.
I always thought it's like, hey, I'm okay with this. No, yes, I am. Yep. Yes, I am.
Yeah, he seems to argue with nobody, and everyone just looks at him confusedly. We follow Gamma Team as they go to their base.
Yep. And of course, when Gamma gets there, they do the initial scan and they notice that there's no Zeta radiation or anything.
Yep,
but Mal's like, hey, there are actually readings. They're a little bit further over in the water.
Yeah, because they accidentally blow up an outhouse or just a shed in the middle of a
junkyard? It was a toolbox. Yeah, they went and they attacked the toolbox.
In the middle of a weird base and there's nothing here. And so Mal says it's underwater. So they, of course, Lagoon Boy being on the team finally gets a shine.
Yeah, and he literally just swims down because it's not like he's a fish or anything. And he's got these runes that glow, Atlantean runes that glow, and he literally hulks it up.
I'm about to say he goes Luffy Gear 4. It looks like his weird puffer mode. It's a spoiler
anyway,
for
but anyway,
a 20-year-old anime.
He literally just turns super buff and
super huge and super strong, and he rips the doors off of the thing at this point, right?
Yep, and then they all swim through, and when they get up, they realize that this base
is a huge base. And of course, they immediately get caught on weird alien cameras, and everyone's
it's funny because it was like Mal's like, "Oh, okay, wait for backup, lay low for a bit," and Lagan's just like, "Yeah, about that." Yep. Immediately, it's just like, "Uh-oh."
They're on camera. This is when we cut back to Mal at the base, and we hear Beta Team found a very small site. They have one alien there. No people.
Every single one has a really teeny tiny bases.
Alpha Team's we've had there's 2 aliens here, no people, and finally the big giant army of people are all at Gamma Base where
because I think it was Adam or someone getting reports. And he's like, "What about Gamma Team?" And Mal's like, "About that."
Yeah, they're a little tied up at the moment. As we see, the Krillotans are getting ready to attack, and they start jumping all over the guys. Except one Krillotane sees Blue Beetle and freaks out.
Yeah, freaks out completely.
Yeah, he's let's get out of here, and then everyone starts ditching immediately.
Oh, don't forget, we get the Lagan catchphase: "Stay liquid, minnows."
No, also he says Neptune's beard. Yeah,
that's his other one. But in this one,
also,
we get
he has a lot because also Angelfish. He's constantly calling him again. He has a lot of really weird phrases all over the place. Also, is he Yuri Lowenthal?
He's what?
I think he's not Yuri Lowenthal, is he?
I don't know, to be honest.
His voice actor is a huge
I didn't actually look it up.
But
but anyway, so we get a big fight scene and everything, and when the one sees Blue Beetle, starts freaking out. But for some reason, Blue Beetle can understand what's being said.
Yep, and he tells the team that the base is going to self-destruct, and we got to get out of here.
Oh, and that the playthings can be sacrificed.
Yep, and that's when Tim's like, we got to save the people. And they're like, they're being told to leave, but they're saying no. Tim stays behind. He stays the people. He finds all the humans underground.
Well, everyone does, actually, because Lagan opens up the gate, and they're all like, aliens!
Yeah, Blue Beetle, too, and they're like, aliens!
He's like, we're not aliens. Well, the Krillotane he's holding is like, well, he is, but we're not.
We read to mention they get one, and then they manage to get a bunch of people. The humans think that the Blue talks to the Scarab, and the team doesn't get. He keeps talking to the Scarab. Right. He's like, what's going on?
Which we don't know it's the Scarab, but anyone who knows Blue Beetle,
of course.
But then they escape with
save the people.
Save the people, and all of the Justice League appears.
They're really like full Justice League.
But then Nightwing's just like, "Hey, Tim, good job.
Thumbs up."
And then of course, after that whole good job, everything's doing well, we cut to Zeta Squad, which is I call him Gar. Gar or Garfield for short.
Superboy,
Megan, Superboy, and Adam. And Adam says, "Welcome to Rann." And we just see this beautiful alienscape. And that's where it ends.
Yep, that's the first episode of the season. Now, I wanted to ask you, the new members of the team that we've seen so far, who is your favorite?
Ooh, that's kind of a tough one because I know there's more that go through.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I gotta give my heart to Beast Boy.
Really?
Now, in the first episode, he didn't get much of an introduction, but later on, dude, I love Beast Boy.
He's amazing in Teen Titans.
Yeah, he's silly. He's laid back. Well, I mean, obviously he's a kid, but he always was like kind of like, you know, I don't know. I just found his powers to be cool, and as we're gonna find out later on, how he got them was really cool too.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But if we're gonna go with someone,
episodes, how he gets it? Do we find out in the batch of episodes how he gets his powers? Or no?
we get like hints to it where we can describe. We'll get to those, but if we're gonna go to the people who actually did some fighting and stuff, it's a toss up between Wonder Girl because she's really strong, but she's really airheaded too, and Lobo because Lobo's a hero.
Lobo's a hero.
Actually, Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle's pretty good. Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite's probably it's probably gonna be Wonder Girl because I love all the Amazons. But also I'm kind of trying to remember. I barely remember Cassie's origins in the Teen Titans stuff I read. I believe she might be a semi-normal person who's just like gifted by Zeus.
Wait, she was in Teen Titans?
Not Teen Titans, comics and stuff. I read back in the day.
Like the comics.
Yeah, I think she might have been like a non-Amazonian person who was just blessed by Zeus and then went to train with the Amazons. I'm not sure because like the first Wonder Girl, Donna Troy, is actually like tied to the Amazons and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like Cassie because besides just being voiced by Mae Whitman, she's a really fucking dope character. She's really strong.
She really
is.
She's
really funny.
She later on we're gonna get to it, but I like her character developments every now and then.
Yeah, she's really cool. I really like her also, and also like I'm curious if they ever do like how. We'll see. We'll because it's
we'll get to that
to come up. But yeah, she's great. Now we're doing episode 2, Earthlings.
We start off with the Zeta team. Well, and some random girl that we don't know yet.
Yep, some mystery girl or fleeing a giant spider robot.
Yep, giant spider mech like in Final Fantasy VIII, only a lot cooler looking in my opinion. And of course Connor's protecting this random girl.
Yeah, as they get cornered, he says it was supposed to be like this or whatever, and he shields the girl from a giant blast from the thing, and that is when we go to intro.
You're right, an intro.
Yeah.
But then we actually get the flashback from when everyone.
Before that, though, the intro comes back. They're still getting blasted by the thing, and he hits the cliff, and he's just like, "Man, it wasn't supposed to end like this." And then we get the flashback.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Then that's when the flashback. When they get to Rannagar, of course, Beast Boy's like, "I'm on an alien planet. You must say this all the time again on Earth." And she's like, "Yep."
Specifically, he says he calls him again, sis.
Oh yeah,
which is very cool.
Sis. And then of course he's super excited, and of course we're met with 2 other characters. Sardak, the scientist is it?
I think it's Sardak.
Yeah, see, when I was watching it, it kind of sounded like a C. Yeah, it could be that. So Sardath, we'll call him Ath. But anyway, Sardath, the scientist that Strange met, who told him about all of this information, and his daughter Alana, who seems to have a strong affinity for Adam.
They're like lots of longing looks between the two of them, between Adam and them.
And of course, they're speaking in an alien language, and of course, Adam introduces everyone in this alien language, and then after that, he's just like, I don't know the language, so usually we do charades.
Yeah, this is when we start the charades.
Enter McGann, who telepathically links everyone so that anyone who speaks the common language, in this case English, hear it from the others, while the others are hearing their language from everyone else.
Yeah, for some reason Connor looks a little upset when she does this, so he's like a weird look on his face, like
it was a small thing, but he did.
But yeah, they hide in the lab because humans, of course, aren't welcome here.
Correct,
but it's still not
Earthlings.
Clear why.
Earthlings specifically.
They don't specify yet.
Yes, they do.
It's a second later. They say,
the doctor says, "Let's come inside." We have to do that when harboring Earthlings.
Yeah. We see Best Boy keeps messing. Best Boy.
Best Boy.
Beast Boy keeps he's fascinated with the alien dragon.
Like the weird dragon bird thing and stuff. And then we find out about the Rannian Science Patrol.
Yeah, the Science Committee hates aliens and interplanetary travel.
Yep, very xenophobic, and that's why. And that's one of the reasons why. And of course, they once again mention those 16 hours.
Yep, and they say the League did something on the planet Rimbor, and they're now intergalactic criminals.
Yep, and also we find out that Sardath is working on interplanetary Zeta travel.
Yep.
So just, traveling from planet to planet rather than just from place to place on a planet.
And we see that this is when we find out that the Krolotans have been spreading information about the League to the other alien races, and that Sardath doesn't know that McGann and Connor are associated with the League, even though...
Yeah, that's right. They're like, you're not associated with them, are they? And McGann's like, nope.
Yep, and this is when we find out Sardath's plan, which is a planetary shield for Zeta beams.
Oh yes, it makes it so that you can still Zeta beam off planet stuff.
No, around the planet. But
I thought it was also off planet.
No, it's the shield is to stop off planet Zeta beam.
Oh, it was like people can't come in kind of thing
or out.
Or out because you're just trapped on your planet with at least the Zeta. Mm-hmm. And then of course we find out he's like, oh, stolen tech and stuff like that. There's a Krolotan base nearby. Go find out what they're doing, and destroy their tubes and stuff like that.
Yeah, we need to find. It's in the Rannian forest.
Yes, in the Rannian forest, and of course, they have to go on the metro, which it's out in public, so the Earthlings have to put on some disguises of some sort. And Alana's like, I need to go and help them because I know this area a lot better. Which of course, did we find out that her father is they
wanted to introduce each other.
Yeah, we find out he's like, no, it's too dangerous, but she's like, I know this place, and not even Adam knows this place.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut to the metro.
Yep, we see Beast Boy has turned into one of the weird little green bird things.
Mm-hmm. And everyone else is so disguised because all they're doing are wearing hoods.
McGann transformed into a Rannian. She has actual pointed ears.
Oh, that's right, she did.
And Connor has a hood up, and then Adam Strange's outfit is his traditional superhero comic outfit.
Yes, it is. Weird red hood, I actually did look it up, and I noticed it was.
Yeah, the red and white hood outfit that he has.
And of course, they're like, yes, they get on the metro, no hitches or anything, and then these two policemen-looking guys just come in.
The science police come and search the train.
And I like this part because Adam Strange decides to be a distraction. And what does he do? He quotes Lewis Carroll.
Yep, very bizarre.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he just starts freaking out and being weird.
Got your nose. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna love you, Savage. And
Savage?
Strange.
I was like, there's already like 3 other characters named Strange in the series already.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
But also more romantic looks between him and Alana make McGann and Connor way more uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And as they're leaving, I like the comment. Alana says like, Jabberwocky?
Yeah.
What? But so Strange gets the Science Patrol police guys off the metro, while the rest of them successfully
continue to travel on the train. Meanwhile, while Beast Boy sees the awkwardness between McGann and Connor, he's trying to bring up memories between them very awkwardly. It's just
and
very
makes it worse.
Yeah, Connor gets more uncomfortable. Of course, it's very, very.
They get to just a random spot while the train's still going, and Alana's like, "Here we go, let's go."
They jump off the train. Beast Boy immediately almost gets killed by tumbling into a fiery
blue sand bog, as they call it. But it's it's a really beautiful flower. He's like, cool, I'm gonna get it. And Alana's like, watch this. Throws a stick near the flower, and it devours it, belches, and farts.
Yeah, does this one turn on fire?
It burns too.
Yeah, it burns too. That's ridiculous.
And of course, that's when there's the good lesson. If it's beautiful, don't touch it.
Yeah, and that's because he wanted it for his souvenir of the episode, which would have been important. McGann, they finally find the lab, and McGann enters to see it is packed full of Krolotans.
Yeah, we're talking as big as the Gamma Bay.
Yeah,
the Gamma
it's
Team
really
space.
Big.
And of course she finds an opening and lets everyone know, hey, here's the opening.
Yep, and you see there are 6 Zeta platforms that they need to bomb.
Yep, and they have small controlled explosives, so it won't cause too much damage. Mm-hmm. And of course, McGann and Beast Boy, who is now a monkey.
Yep, they just stealthily put bombs on all of them and hey, we're almost ready to go.
Now remember, they have 3 minutes as they're putting these on.
Yep.
And of course, after they do it, they're like, okay, we're good. Now we can get out of here. Then they get the Krolotans get a weird transmission. They get a Zeta transmission, and their exit gets blocked by a giant antenna.
Yep, and then all 6 portals beam in tons and tons of the Krolotans, who bring up the base that was just destroyed on Earth.
Which, by the way, we know what the Krolotans are saying because in
They're
this
finally
episode,
subtitles?
we're finally getting subtitles, and all of the superheroes are known as Meta Earthlings.
Yeah, Meta Earth. Did they say Meta Earthlings specifically? Oh, that's good.
Meta Earthlings, and Yeah, some of them come in and they're like, "Oh, the Meta Earthlings destroyed our bases and blah 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 blah."
You have to say, okay, well, we got to figure out a plan to get out. The team says we got to figure out a way to get out of here. Just as all the bombs grow,
literally all the bombs just explode, and so Garfield's like, you know what? I'll distract them. You guys get out of here. Turns into a gorilla and starts beating the crap out of all of these guys.
And as the team's escaping, the Krillitanes say, "Get the mechs on them," and this is when we finally see the spider robots.
Meanwhile, Adam is still getting chased by the secret police.
Still a quick scene of Adam just sneaking around, getting gotten, and flying off with his dumb jetpack.
And of course, we find out he's actually going back to the lab.
Yep, the team figures that the Earth teams must have destroyed the other bases. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, that's where they came from. They must have done that. McGann says the Krillitanes are too foreign for her to be able to read their minds or
right. Yeah, because even like learning the language itself would take a long time.
Yep, and Beast Boy saying, "Hey, do you hear that? When the mechs are coming," and that is when we circle back to the intro scene of them getting attacked.
Yep, we come full circle. And by the way, it was Connor because he has the super hearing.
Yeah.
Right. But either way, we go full circle, and we finally get up to the point where Connor actually is hanging on the cliff.
Yep.
Gets up, and so they have to split up pretty much.
Yeah, they finally lose the mech patrols after escaping invisibility and going into a cave.
And now we get the best because we get a little bit of a be careful, McGann.
Yeah,
two kind of cute moment.
A tense goodbye from between McGann and Connor.
But then we finally learn because Alana's like, "Hey, so I mean, she likes you obviously. How long have you two been dating?" And Connor's like, "We're not." And I don't want to talk about it, but she's like, "Dude, I live light years away from you. I won't be able to say anything to anyone." And so, long and short of it is, I guess it had something to do with Connor being literally like he ages internally but not externally.
Yep, he says it's all his fault that they broke up because he won't age and we found out that he dumped her.
Yeah, he dumped her. But the other thing he says is that she left him no choice.
Yep.
Doesn't explain that. Just left him no choice kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very still vaguely vague. This is when also we learned Beast Boy mentions the blood transfusion from last season. Yep. Is how he obtained
that's
his
when
powers.
we cut to.
Yeah, cut to McGann and Beast Boy.
And of course, McGann mentions that, just randomly hugs and it's like, "Hey, you have to listen to your big sister."
Yep,
it's like,
because we're family now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Gar got his power
from the blood transfusion that McGann gave him last season to save his life.
Yep. So now he has like some Martian powers that he uses to.
Yeah.
He has the shape-shifting, which he does to animals. Because one of his comments is, "Hey, I wonder what my next power is gonna be."
Yeah, it's very adorable.
Cut to a scene where like they're having a cute little chase and whatever because they have to meet back at a rendezvous point since they lost the trails. Cut to a waterfall where Gar just stops. He shuts down completely.
Yep, and he turns fully human as opposed to his half monkey boy form he's normally default in. And he kind of goes into a weird PTSD flashback. We see a turned over Jeep in the
waterfall area, and we find out that that was his mom who died.
Yep, and we have McGann hints that it was Queen Bee's fault.
Yes, she did mention that it was Queen Bee's fault, and I mean that's why now we know why she's the adopted sister because he had no family, so she had to take him in.
Just then, while they are comforting each other, they are caught by the mechs.
Yep, the mechs actually catch them. And Connor and Alana figure this out because Alana is speaking her alien language, and Connor's like, "I don't understand, uh-oh."
Yep, the Krillitanes say that these two metas should be enough, and they're beginning to head back to their ship as their lab, turns into a gigantic ship and begins to fly off the planet.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we actually cut to Adam and Sardath, and Sardath starts speaking, and he's just like, "Well, guess it's charades again."
Yep, after all, Adam's dumb long journey back to the lab is just for nothing because now they're stuck again.
Pretty much. So Connor and Alana actually find these mechs.
Yeah, and Connor now just starts taking out mechs easily, destroying them.
Yeah, in typical we needed to see this Connor beating things up.
Yeah, while Alana distracts them a little bit, she leads them into a sand pit. But when she leads one of the mechs into the sand,
one of them actually goes into and gets caught, and we're talking it gets really hot.
But then she lets the alien out so he doesn't die. I guess.
I guess weird humanity.
Oh, Randy.
Yep.
Whatever it's called.
But anyway, the other one gives chase, and of course Connor breaks it open to find there's McGann and Beast Boy, and as they're getting them out. McGann is still unconscious, so they still don't have that communication thing going.
So they leave McGann with Alana while Beast Boy and Connor go to start destroying the ship.
They start destroying the ship because it's actually in the air and flying. And one of my favorite lines is when Gar and Connor go up and start beating the crap out of everything. Yeah. Beast Boy's a gorilla at this point.
Yeah, of course.
And Connor just looks at him and says, "You might change my mind about monkeys yet."
Yeah, once again saying that line to another gorilla.
Right?
I'm pretty sure it's like 3 different gorillas already at this time.
Right.
McGann finally wakes up thanks to Alana like helping her.
I guess all she does is she speaks and she speaks and she speaks, and then we finally hear "wake up."
Yeah,
like did she?
Oh,
we don't even know what she did
she
or if
just
she did
some,
anything.
some psychic recovery from the blast or something.
But then McGann sees some of the Krolataeans running away, and she like uses her mind to pick one up, and her eyes just glow, and the Krolataean like wiggles a little bit, and then stops and like starts drooling. Like it's
she brain drained a Krolataean and then ripped its sash off.
Rip the sash off and like literally put him in a lobotomatic state. Like lobotomy.
I just said brain drained him.
Yeah, I pretty much gave him a lobotomy.
Yeah, Connor and Beast Boy jump from the ship just as it Zeta beams away.
Yep, and then
for McGann to give the sash to Beast Boy as a souvenir.
And then of course Connor notices the Krolataean like drooling and stuff, and he's like, "What did you do?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it. I know what happened in the 16 hours."
Yeah, bum bum bum. End of the episode. Yeah, that was a very interesting episode. Probably not my most favorite because like none of my favorite people were involved in it, but it was a really cool thing. Also, I love seeing space DC stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, what really surprised me about these now that I'm rewatching these, in just 2 episodes, we're getting a huge, like, we're talking ice bucket challenge bucket of information getting dumped on us.
No, but what a timely reference.
Not the point.
Yeah. But
still, like, we're getting a whole
it's really huge plot. And like I said, yeah, I love seeing the space stuff because, like, another thing is, like, going into the stuff from Justice League, you only get Thanagar's side of view, and like Rann is always a vague off enemy that's not really important.
Yeah, you're right. They do like because in the episode of Justice League when they were doing
there's a couple of episodes with Thanagar stuff. Yeah, but like Rann is always just like an offhanded mention thing. Also, like in the comics coming up, I never really got much Adam Strange stuff. I got a lot of like Hawkgirl, Hawkman stuff. So whenever Thanagar was around or involved or important, Rann was always a minor background, nothing planet that wasn't really like barely mattered. Right, and also, like, all the other stuff, like, how much do you know Apocalypse and New Genesis?
I'm familiar with them, yes.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, all the other space DC stuff. Like, I know I have tons of it because I love the Green Lantern series, and that's just, like...
Right. If I'm going to ever, like, actually go deeper into the DC, like, space lore and all the other... I think I'm going to have to do the Green Lantern comics because they literally, even Jon Stewart mentions, they go everywhere.
Also, the short-lived CGI show for... Green Lantern.
Was it good?
It was good. I really liked it because I really like Green Lantern stuff.
Right.
I have no love for Hal Jordan, but...
that's like right. Sinestro, that was the Hal Jordan one.
Yeah, but I like Sinestro, like Atrocitus, who are both main characters in the series.
Oh, even Atrocitus.
Atrocitus is the main villain before there are Yellow Lanterns. It's very bizarre.
But just the fact that it's a media that's doing not just the Yellow Lantern is actually pretty interesting.
You might have to cover it. But yeah, like all the space stuff is great. It's really cool to learn about all the other aliens and junk. It's really cool.
And speaking of aliens we're going to go straight to
3, Alienated.
Where we start off in Metropolis at good old Bibbo's.
Bibbo's Cafe. As Gordon Godfrey is deriding the League.
Yeah, just doing his usual shtick.
For making the scanners. They're already working on the shielding tech or the scanners for the aliens.
He's talking like, how can they not scan for these aliens?
Yeah, no, they have scanners. He's like, how'd they make the scanner so quickly? Or they must be up to something.
And then we see Jaime and what's her
I
actual name?
I draw Bumblebee on her.
I put down Bumblebee and BB for Blue Beetle, but I know it's Jaime, and I never remember her name. But anyway, they just walk in, and of course Bibbo's like, sit anywhere. Starts running.
Starts acrobating over his desk, even though it's a huge
and Bibbo, if anyone knows Bibbo, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a really big guy. And starts like parkouring over the thing and out of the back, and he starts running down the alley with them chasing.
And as he's running down the alley, and as Blue Beetle and Bumblebee are chasing after, the another Bibbo appears and punches Bibbo in the face.
Yep, he knocks him out cold and says, nobody messes with real Bibbo.
And then, of course, we find out it was a Krolatan in disguise.
Yep, as it jumps down the sewers.
And runs away.
And blasts off in a huge, weird underwater sewer spaceship. Like a huge burst of fire comes up and almost hits
huge explosion and stuff. And then, of course, runs away. And as they're like, oh, wow, it ran away, blah, 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 we see the Krolatan rushing over into, like, a big lake area where we see a giant... black submarine-looking thing.
And while Beetle scans for it, he can't find the Krolatan, but we do see that, Jaime, again, is talking to himself and weirding out Bumblebee and Bibbo. They're like, what the heck is he doing? On the ship that the Krolatan boards, we see Black Manta! And they dive. And then that's when we hit the intro.
Yep. And then after the title card... we head over to the Zeta section of Star Labs, where Batman, Wonder Woman...
The Taos?
Yeah, Taos.
Is that... I didn't bother looking it up, but this place pops up a couple times. Is that a real, city or something?
Honestly, I don't know.
We see Nightwing, Wonder Woman, John Stewart, and Captain Atom greeting the Rann team popping up.
Yep, they come on in, and of course, mission was a success, and Strange mentions about the Zeta Shield technology.
Before that, more importantly, BB's very eager to show Nightwing his souvenir.
Yes, but business first.
Business first.
Yes, but business first. So, all of this information, because McGann brings up, about how a Krolatan was paid by a member of the
I was going to say he brings them the shield stuff.
Right.
Adam brings them the shielding information.
Oh, and right.
And then BB's like, McGann, tell him what you found out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's like, yeah, do it. So apparently one of those science police guys paid a Krolatan to do their sneakiness and stuff.
Yep, to get the lab onto Rann without being sensed.
And this includes, the New Orleans base as well.
Yeah, and stealing from Sardath's base.
And then we also know that it was to steal and replace Earthlings.
Yep.
Which Wonder Woman's like, okay, but what does this have to do? Because McGann mentioned she knows about the 16 hours. And Wonder Woman's like, so what does this have to do with that?
Yep.
And we find out that when Savage was controlling the League, the 6 who had the 16 hours went to, is it called Rimbor?
Yep, Rimbor.
Rimbor, and literally destroyed everything.
Yep.
While in 7 different alien language was like, hey, we're the Justice League, and you should be afraid of us.
Yeah, we're from Earth. You should better watch out.
Yeah, and of course, that was all happened in 16 hours.
Yep, and the Krollatans were watching Earth has some really cool dudes.
Yeah, and Krollatans were like, I too know how to gather info.
Yep.
And then, of course, everyone is incredibly shocked.
And they say, John, how did you not know about this if you work in space all the time?
And he's like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything from the Guardians.
Yeah,
I should go check up on this.
I gotta go to
Oa. Where are they from?
Oa is the...
Oa, okay.
Oa,
yeah, so he's like, I'm going to Oa to find out this information.
Yeah, Captain Adam's like, good job. We need to go to the Hall of Justice.
Speaking of the Hall of Justice, we see the tourist attraction part, where we see
I think it's just a new, they turned the Washington, D.C. place into just a big museum.
Right.
I think now, yeah. Right?
Well, this is the same place with the secret room.
Yeah.
But anyway, and they made it into a museum, like you said. We see, the parts of a Mazor here. We see just a whole bunch of other things.
We see, 4 or 5 weird elemental-looking statues. Appalachians, remember that.
Yes, well, the liaison French lady is hey, these are the bodies of the 4...
Appalachians
who pretty much brought the Justice League together.
Yep, the first mission they really joined in on.
And then
something I've never heard of before.
We cut to McGann and Connor.
Oh wait, we see, but while she's giving them the tour, these are the aliens that brought the League together. And then some random guy's like, "Oh, G. Gordon says that the League works with aliens." He's all right, moving on.
Yeah, and she's just like, "And we're walking." Yeah. Then we get to McGann and Connor in
walking Jean interrogating the Krolatan. Yeah.
Yep. And then of course, as this is happening, Batman brings up that Jean has been sitting with this Krolatan for hours upon hours, maybe even almost a day, not being able to do anything. McGann eyes glow. The Krolatan looks over towards the double-sided window, whatever, starts freaking out and drools again. And
another brain drain, as she says, "I know where the base is."
Yeah, I know where the base is, which we find out is...
of course, Connor's really upset about this, and what's his name? Jean just looks over like, huh?
Honestly, I have a theory on this, but we'll get to that after this episode.
Yeah, but the base is on Melina Island.
Yeah, Melina Island in an active volcano.
And we see Black Manta's boys are helping the aliens.
Oh yes, and of course we see Black Manta is.
He sounds a little bit different.
Yeah, but you know who he's talking to? Black Manta.
Yeah.
Wait, what? And then we as Black Manta with a higher voice talks to Black, and we're not talking like crazy high voice. It's just slightly higher,
slightly a vaguely familiar voice.
Yeah, but as they're both talking, one of the Black Mantas, the one who's actually on Melina, takes off their helmet to reveal Aqualad.
Calderon.
What the heck?
Oh my god! Just as that's revealed, we cut to is it the bioship where we see the whole Bat family heading to the base?
Yep, we do.
We have
it's a recon mission, so you know.
Of course, is Batman with them? Or
it was Batman,
Nightwing,
Batgirl. No, I don't think Robin was there.
Yeah.
Oh, was he there?
Yeah, the whole Bat team was there.
I know Lagan was there.
We see Lagan and Aquaman are there as well.
Yep, actual Aquaman, and of course they have to. It's a recon mission, so just go down and search.
Yeah, but also the plan is also to get the Krolatanes to Oa if they can.
Yes, and then of course outside, you know, Batman's being Batman by like knocking out guards and stuff.
And the Aqua team has jumped into the water and
Team Aqua. Yeah,
the Team Aqua teams are going underwater. We see the Krolatanes are talking, and they say what's happening. Their base being discovered and everything wasn't actually just Earthlings. It was the competitor.
Another name drop right there. And of course, anger ensues with all of this. And one of them states, you know, who else would hire the main man? To expose us.
And they saw one of the competitors attacking with the humans.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Attacked by a competitor warrior. And then all of a sudden, Aquamanta, as I call him, he's like, he learns that something's wrong because he's like, hey, report. Sector 1, secure. Sector 2, secure. Sector 4, secure. Wait, what? Wait, what? What about you, Sector 3? And then we find out that was the sector that Batman was doing his thing.
Yeah, that's very funny.
So obviously he's just like, we're being intruded. And then that's when I think another fight ensues because everyone's inside.
We see a shadowy figure running around, putting a big ass weird black and yellow bomb.
Oh yeah, just a weird like thing. And then as that's happening, you know, there's a whole lot of fighting ensuing, and this is when Aqualad has his mask on, so none of the heroes know it's him yet.
But while he's fighting Aquaman, we hear a voice say that the device is ready. A very, very deep rumbling.
Oh, yeah, like deep, kind of almost robotic, almost.
That's his natural voice.
Right, that's his natural voice.
He's a big dude. If you know the actor, he's an intimidating dude. Yeah. I keep wanting to say like his one line that sticks out to me, but that's for way later in the episode.
Right, and then of course he mentions to Manta that you have 5 minutes to get out of here.
Yep.
And then, of course, Superman is actually, like, doing things with Connor like he should have done since the beginning.
But yeah, like, Aqualad's preparing to Krolatanes to escape, and the Atlanteans are still fighting him. We see the Kryptonians just show up and say, like, let's do this.
Yeah, listen, I like it. Hey, we got a triple combo over here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, we made it a quadruple. I'm like, you know, I like this version of Superman.
It's very, very cool.
And then we see Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl, like, doing a whole bunch of fighting and teamwork and stuff.
Yep. The whole league shows up at this point, pretty much.
Pretty much. But I like it because Wonder Girl's like, oh my goodness, that was so amazing. And all of a sudden Wonder Woman, like, blocks some things, and she's like, more Wonder Girl, less fangirl. I'm like,
But while Calder continues to fight, we see that his helmet finally gets knocked off.
Not yet.
Yeah,
you gotta notice the little details because there's two Krolatanes walking over to a computer and taking a floppy disk.
Yeah, you're right. That's gonna be important.
Then we get the Aquaman and Lagan fighting and revealing the helmet.
Yeah, like I didn't believe it, but they are shocked to see that Calder is Black Manta.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually. The one thing that really interested me, Aquaman said, I didn't want to believe Nightwing when he said it. So apparently Nightwing knew about this.
And he told them.
Yeah. And of course, Aqualad is upset because not only did apparently the team let Tula die, but he...
And also she was going by Aquagirl at the time, which was really cool.
Yes, she was going by Aquagirl, but... apparently Aquaman hid the truth of who his father was.
Yes. It's very... And, Aquaman knew, and they are very upset. He escapes, but he runs into Nightwing. He says, it's just the two of us. And then Connor shows up and like, yeah, no, I'm here too, and we're going to fight. He's like,
we're gonna make this an all-out special.
Yep.
And then, of course, that's when Aqualad's like, okay, you have a choice. Fight me and capture me, or save everyone from the bomb.
Yep, after he beats up Superboy, which is a really cool thing.
Right? That was pretty cool.
Robin orders everyone to escape
because the bomb. Yeah, he gets to the bomb and he's like, I can't defuse this. It's alien technology.
Yep, and he says, "Don't go after the enemy. Everyone get out of here." Superman stays back to try to get the Kroltaneans out,
and of course they're all like, "Don't trust him. He's a meta Earthling."
Yeah, just like, you dum dums. I'm trying to help you. Get the hell off the thing. It's about to blow up.
And then of course, everyone starts getting on the bioship, which is piloted by two Kroltaneans. And then of course one of them just goes, "Hello, Megan."
Yep, and transforms back into Megan and Jean,
which you find out they're the two Kroltaneans who took the floppy disk.
Yep. Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know why they were. I was like, they think the Kroltaneans were going to get on their ship. Like,
yeah, because if you look, Jean's holding that weird floppy disk at the two things. Then everything explodes. Everyone gets out. Even Superman does, but he barely escapes.
He's in the explosion.
That's why I said he barely escaped because he was caught in the explosion, but Aquaman saved him. But an explosion, come on, Superman can survive that.
We see the aliens' plan was to make a ship to get off planet because the shield was stopping them from Zeta beaming off, but now they're all dead.
Yeah, but now they're all dead.
The team is confused at what Calderon was doing with that.
Yeah, they're wondering because, there's the bomb plan and everything. So did he do this on purpose? Did he want them all to die? Or
who knows? But we see now Black Manta is having a delicious dinner while Cal shows up and says, "Hey, Dad, kind of messed up, but it's fine because the light always plays."
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, Black Manta's like, "Hey, good job on the mission."
Yeah, it's good, man. This is what the light wanted.
Yep, and speaking of the light, he hears a weird little alarm. He's like, "If you'll excuse me, I've got a meeting to attend to," which, for some reason, I guess they wanted to point out that, a lot of the decor in his room is, a tribal African kind of descent.
Yeah.
And so...
I was going to say, in case you didn't know, he wants to take in lettuce for black people.
Yeah, and yes, folks, Matt and I have talked about this. It literally is just like it sounds. It's a big, whole segregation issue.
Yeah, the Black Manta's a very weird character with changing motives, but he's a very weird. His motivations changed. If you see the Aquaman movie, he's just a weirdo avenging his dad or whatever.
Right? Yeah, different universes, different versions, but it's all the same.
But this one is, he seems to have a lot of pride in that stuff, and it's really interesting to take on that character. But
he gets a call from the Light, who congratulate him on his methods, and I think it was Savage mentions, "I'm glad we actually chose you over that pathetic Ocean Master."
I must say, now the Ocean Master's out. We're in now.
Yeah. So apparently, even in season 1, Ocean Master just got a cameo appearance, but he never did anything.
But he was with the Light.
Yeah, I know he was with the Light, but he never did anything.
Well, I mean,
now we find out. Oh, Ocean Master. Yeah, we're totally going to Destro him from, if anyone's seen the live action G.I. Joe movies. You're just out. And here comes new guy.
Yeah, I would say I was listening to the episode we had just going up on YouTube about Orm. We were me and you were just should we say who it is? It's Orm. Okay, it's Orm.
It's Orm.
But Orm, that whole episode with Aquaman didn't do anything. He was just sitting there with his brother, being whatever and chill.
Yeah, he was being cool. He was being a good guy.
This whole villain arc was off screen.
Unless there's a different Ocean Master, in the comics or something. Maybe
it's
there's
Orm.
Yeah, that's what I know. I know it's Orm. So anyway, long story short, Ocean Master gone, Black Manta replaced.
Yep, but we're not even at the end of the episode yet. But I was going to say, we see they're saying, also they're working with the competitor mentioned earlier.
Yep, the competitor gets named again.
We see it, but on the shore we have the 6 members of the League who are responsible for destroying Rimbor, saying that they are going to an intergalactic trial,
including Hawkman and Icon.
We
learn that in this universe, at least, Hawkman and Hawkgirl are married to each other.
They typically are.
Well, I'm saying, like, for people who know the Justice League.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that was a really cool episode about that in the Justice League.
Right.
About him being like, hey, don't you remember me? She's like, I don't know who you are, you weirdo.
Yeah.
It's like, we're married all the time, yeah.
And then, of course, Icon
knows
is there
about
because...
intergalactic law stuff.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
He knows about all that stuff. Everyone's sad about this, and of course, as all of this is happening, Atom and Nightwing are going to be in charge, and Green Lantern's like, hey, we gotta do what we gotta do for this.
Yep.
And even like Cassie was like, when are you gonna be back? And she goes, and Wonder Woman's like, as long as it takes to clear our names.
So you gotta go to the High Court of Rimbar. And also we see that Cal is treating Connor like a little brother.
Oh, yes.
Which is a very interesting choice on his part.
Hey, but you want to know something?
Good way to help him cope, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, at least they're having a positive kind of relationship. Connor seems okay with it, so who's gonna complain?
Yep. Also, I don't know if you mentioned it earlier when they're talking about the shield going up so they can't see it off planet, that they said it won't stop someone strong enough or just a ship will be able to go through it.
Right.
Which is why John Stewart just makes the
Green Lantern ship.
Yeah, he makes just an actual functioning ship for them to fly, which is his whole shtick.
Yep, and they go into hyperspeed while everyone on the shore just leaves.
Looks on, sad, and then leaves.
And then that's where the episode ends.
That's the end of that episode, and I gotta say, at this point, what were you thinking about Cal's turn when you were watching this originally?
Cal's turn.
Cal Durham being Black Manta. I was absolutely floored.
Dude, I literally when I first watched this like years ago, I literally had to pause the episode just so I could scrape the jaw off of the floor because I did not expect that.
Me neither.
I'm just like, dude,
shocked.
I was a bit shattered because he was like I told you from season 1. He was one of my favorite characters. Yeah. He was one of the coolest. He was the greatest leader. And all of a sudden, he did this?
Yeah, he's Black Manta now? What the hell? I thought it was cool as hell. I was like, oh man, his actual, like, a protag is actually evil now. It's so cool.
And all I had
never, ever see that in anything. No. Like, barely. It's so cool.
Yeah, you're right. You never
A heroic lead of the team go to be a villain next season. And I love how they handled the time jump. And it's just like,
But now, one thing that I noticed when McGann did like the quick mind thing to the Krolatan and Jean was like, I have a feeling that Jean wasn't looking like confused. I think he looked exactly at her and knew exactly what happened. He just didn't say anything.
I was curious. I was like, did he? I'm assuming he did know exactly what she did. Which is like, I'm just going to do that, but okay, if you're going to.
Yeah, just the moment he looked, I'm just like, McGann, you idiot. I never say that about her, but this time I will.
I wasn't just an idiot. Who knows what the hell her deal is right now? It's very bizarre, but I like it.
Right. And I guess we don't have really anything to go off for a segue, so we'll just jump into episode 4.
Let's salvage this discussion with episode 4. Salvage!
And I thought my jokes were bad.
And it was a segue. We see Washington, D.C.
Yep.
And a random building saying Bullfrog Health Store.
Did you note the date? February 13th.
Oh, nice.
Gotta note that one.
Yeah.
But a guy's just being robbed.
A regular masked criminal with a bag of money and a gun just coming out and is tripped by an arrow and gassed.
Oh, man. I didn't think Green Arrow... His name's Oliver, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think Ollie was going to be here.
Oliver Queen.
But then we all look up and we see a very bearded Roy.
A haggard and homeless-looking Roy. And of course the guy down.
And of course Roy's picking up the money from the bag and stuff. And the guy's like, dude awesome. You saved me. I watched from the window. I should give you a reward. Nah. You were good, as he takes a stack of money secretly.
Stack goes in his pocket as we see Oliver watching Roy from above, just like, oh, Roy.
Yep, and he's really just like, he just like gets on a radio and he's like, I found him, and it's worse than we thought.
Yep, also the store owner, the random store owner, is a guy from comics. I forgot, I saw like when I was looking up stuff.
Oh, yeah?
He's I got a burp.
Sorry about that, folks.
Sorry if you're disgusted by that, I apologize. He was, I forgot, I didn't write down who it was, but he was a minor, like a one-off actual comic character.
Is he actually like minor, kind of like
he's like a very,
liaison lady?
Yeah, like that level of like unimportant. But now we open back to Talos Star Labs.
Yes, we do.
Adam and the other scientists are ready to turn on the Zeta Shield.
Yep, and it goes successfully without a hitch.
Yep.
And of course, this I put a note in here. This is when Connor brings up this stops the Zetas, but it does not stop a ship or a boom tube.
Yeah, which is very important. It's so weird that boom tubes are so like present everywhere, but no one's like discussing like that's from New Genesis and Apocalypse. Like, why is it so common here?
However, after Connor mentions boom tube, we get something for the first time. We hear Jaime going, "What's a boom tube?" And we finally hear a voice explaining to him what a boom tube is. Yep. And of course, if you've seen season 1, we all know what a boom tube is. But just in case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, what they are, they're apocalyptic teleporting technology from mother boxes.
Right. I was gonna say just in case like people are like listening in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but we see like in space all the giant weird orbs like creating the shield around. In the actual Justice Mountain, we see Lagan and Megan are just being cuddly. PDA
sort of.
Well, kind of.
I mean, because it's more like she's being like just the regular typical. While he's just like, yeah, blah blah, boast, blah blah.
Yeah, because he loves and broy.
I think Connor said it best in episode 2. He's a jerk, but he's at least good to her.
Yeah.
So.
I also we see Snapper Carr is now homeschooling Beast Boy.
Yep. And then there's that going on, and of course as Connor's looking at all of this,
while Jaime's talking to the Beetle about the boom tubes, he's still getting looked at by Mal and Connor like, what the hell are you doing?
Like, what?
He refused to explain. Everyone's just weirded out by him.
And Connor wants to do a little bit more like reconnaissance. Make sure everything is actually going okay.
Yep.
Just because nothing can come in Zeta Tube wise doesn't mean there isn't going to be anything bad going on.
Connor's,
so he looks at Garfield. He's getting trained and studied by what was his name? Snapper Card. Yeah, Snapper Card. Looks over at Lagan and Megan and just nopes. And then all of a sudden grabs a Jaime and goes.
Oh, also Nightwing was out on patrol.
Oh yeah. No, it was personal business.
Oh yeah, personal business.
Yeah, that's right. Because I forget who it was, but he's like, Mal's like, yeah, he's out, personal business.
Yep. He grabs Jaime. He's like, come on, let's go. What?
He's like, what are you doing? Personal business. We finally get our Connor like passive aggressive.
Yep. We cut to strung out looking Roy again.
Yep.
Badly rope grappling onto a building, stumbling, and then Oliver's like, "Man, what are you doing? Come on, let me help you."
He's like, "Come on, let me help you." And of course, Roy's like, "No, me."
Yep.
And all of a sudden, we see
the whole Arrow family, including Wally.
Yeah. Well, and Nightwing.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, we get Nightwing. We get Wally. Not Speedy. Not Speedy was his not Kid Flash. Wally.
Yeah.
And we also get not Guardian, but whatever. Like he's not in his outfit, but it is Guardian.
Yeah, I wrote his name. I have it named down a little bit later, but yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we
Guardian
see like
and
even
Canary.
Yeah, even Canary,
yep.
And they're all, trying to give him pretty much a.
See,
you can't remember.
I would say not an intermission. What do you like?
Intervention.
Intervention. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to give him intervention, but. Obviously, Roy is not having this at all.
He says that he is on a mission to find the real Roy, and everyone else has given up on that.
Yep. But then we cut back to Blue Beetle and Connor, where the Scarab's like, a voice is like, ask.
Yeah.
Ask.
Yep, and Jaime's finally like, okay, I know it was your last choice, but I'm down to help you with whatever you need, man. And Connor says, all right. He wants to investigate the bomb. That he wants to. Is it a bomb that already went off?
He wanted to
investigate the bomb, and he wants to use Intergang to find out what happened.
Yep, he wanted to go to Intergang because they wheel and deal in alien technology.
Yep,
and of course, it still ran 5 years later, and it's still ran by Whisper and Ugly.
Yep, Bruno Mannheim's always the leader, and Vesper's a fairly new character, but yeah.
And we also find out that they're at the Hall of Justice.
Yep, they're plotting a break-in for some reason. Back with the intervention.
Yep.
Canary says that he needs help, and he's like, I don't need any help. And he's like, okay, well, try to fight me. And then she just beats his ass.
Screams it, and she even had to mention that she was holding back.
Yeah, like come on, dude, you're messed up.
And then and of course. Roy's still upset because he's a clone. He's not a real
I hate
boy.
myself. I'm a clone. I'm not real.
But then we go back to the Hall of Justice, where Ugly and Whisper are having this weird device set up.
Superboy is unable to use his X-ray vision, and Beetle is also unable to scan it with his Beetle powers.
Oh right, and that this is when Blue Beetle's like
finally tells him somebody.
Is like doing his arguing, and Connor's like, I don't understand why you keep doing that.
Yep.
And for those of you who don't know Blue Beetle, this is when we find out that the previous Blue Beetle...
Ted Cord.
Thank you, Ted Cord, had this device called the Scarab that is implanted in one's spine.
Yep, he says it was invented by Ted Cord Industries at this point.
Yes, and we also find out that Ted Cord was the previous Blue Beetle.
Yeah, if you know comics, you know he was the second Blue Beetle. Yeah.
Well, right, and then, of course, the light killed him off.
Yep, he was killed by the light off screen, which is very...
Literally, the Scarab gives him, like, you know, the powers, the cool guns and stuff like that, the cool outfit, and also, he kind of says it advises him on what he should do. Yeah,
and this is when we see Bruno has a device that makes the super cycle freak out as it's some kind of apocalyptic technology. Which means that they know about apocalypse enough to know that.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they've seen season 1, they know they use a lot of apocalypse.
Yeah, and the device that he's using also freaks out the Beetle Scarab. And on the inside of the Justice Museum thing, it awakens the Appalachians.
And not only does it wake them up, but they fuse together.
Yep, into a weird giant monster. Now, it was a tree, crystal, a rock. What was the other one?
It was
lava, was it?
No, it wasn't lava. It was
a crystal.
It was rock, tree, crystal, and I can't remember.
I don't know there was a fourth one. Yeah, because that's the thing that like makes the light inside of them that looks like lava going through all the creases of the rock form.
Yeah, but either way, there was a fourth one, and they fused together into we find out later offhandedly, it's an Appalachian golem.
Yep. Connor jumps down to try to find it with Wolf, while Jaime and the cycle are still being like held down.
Right, but then after some fighting
they
goes
bust
along,
it up a little bit, and it just starts.
Blue Beetle starts to use his sonic beam that he always has.
Yep.
Connor says, "No, don't." Too late. Jaime shoots it.
Yep.
It gets absorbed and shot right back at him.
I was gonna say, but like before that, while they're fighting, the thing keeps healing itself very, very quickly, and then the sphere sends out a signal that stops the beam that's like holding back Jaime, and then he does the whole dumb beam thing and gets everyone knocked out.
Yep. But then of course both he and Connor get knocked out, and the Ugly and Whisperer run away.
The Scarab says, "That's an Appalachian, fight it."
Yeah, that's absolutely golem. You gotta fight it. And of course, Ugly and Whisper escape.
Yep, they decide to leave before the actual League shows up. And the Appalachian makes giant wings and just flies them away.
Just flies away?
Using a device to control it, apparently.
Meanwhile,
on intervention
the
time.
Yep.
Oliver keeps trying to tell Roy to stop, but he keeps saying, "No, I'm a dirty clone."
And then, of course, this is
Jim Harper.
That's what it is. Jim Harper. Jim, who even says that he's not Guardian anymore.
Yeah.
Also tells him, "Look, I know what it's like to be a clone. I am
a
one
clone,
after all."
Yeah.
And
I was like, "Whoa, that was a crazy turn."
What I did was I gave up being Guardian, and I wanted to figure out about who Jim Harper is.
Yeah.
And of course, Roy's just like, whatever. Looks at Wally and goes, "Oh, I see you're still here. Why would you? You gave up on the gig, didn't you?"
Yeah.
Oh, there's a drop right there. And he's like, "Look, giving up on not being on the team doesn't mean I'm not going to be a friend."
Yeah, but also Jim Harper, the Guardian, says to him that, like, at this book, I know the light because I was with them for that long. They would have killed him by now. He would not be with them still.
Oh, right, yeah, like they would delete the source material or some crap like that.
Yeah, and it's just like, everyone's just like, he's like, "Oh, shut up, guys." And then Connor, back with Connor and Jaime, he chastises Jaime for not doing his research like all the freshmen and not knowing that an Appalachian can return sonic beams.
That one of the Appalachians was made out of crystal that could absorb and redirect sonic attacks.
Yep.
And of course, Jaime's just like, "Oh."
Yeah, we also find out that the League was formed approximately 12 years ago.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it was 12 years ago, wasn't it?
No.
Yep.
We see that Whisper has some sympathy for the Appalachian golem.
And then, of course, Ugly's like, "Dude, it's just a thing."
Yeah, it's just a husk. It's not even a real Appalachian. It's just a husk of all the bodies after they left it. And he's just like, "Oh,
yeah." And of course, let's see. After all that,
let's see, how about to say they want to use this to spread into gangs, like their whole thing over everything. They say that the psychic energy left over is what they're using the apocalypse technology to control the husk with.
Yep, and then of course after this, Connor and Blue Beetle actually make it to them.
Yep.
And of course Ugly's like, "You just never learn, do you? immediately Connor goes, "Hey, new Genosphere, jam all apocalyptic signals right now." And it does.
Yep.
And which causes the giant Appalachian golem to freak out.
Yep.
Because we learned that device was controlling it, and
Yep.
now it's not in control.
It knocks out Bruno and Whisper, and then attacks Connor and Beetle. But just then, it sees a big energy plant a couple feet
And
away.
it totally Godzilla's that shit, because it's like, what? Nuclear power? Must have.
Yeah, as it approaches, we see two shadowy figures talking about the Appalachian getting close to the plant. Grumbly voice one that sounds very familiar from the last episode.
And another one that sounds even more familiar, but
Yep.
not revealed yet.
As he says, well, should we stop it? No, let's see what happens. As the other...
But-
you go take care of the other ones.
Yeah, you go take care of those meat
The Grumbly
bags
voice
over
one.
there.
Yep, and we see it's all Sportsmaster!
Sportsmaster is
Yay!
back, kids. Let's have some applause, because
Yep.
now we can have some Sportsmaster sportscasting.
Yeah, hopefully. No, we don't. But still, Beetle does some crazy staple thing to Bruno.
Yeah, like
and Whisper.
literally giant, just giant staples.
Giant staples him to a tree. It's very
Ever
crazy.
played Mother 3?
Mother 3? No.
Because see, there's a character. His name is Duster.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bad leg, but he's a master thief, and he uses staples.
Of course.
That's what it reminded me of. And for any of you out there, gotta love that obscure reference. Anyway, so yeah, they literally staple them to the trees.
And they go off to stop the Appalachian. They wrestle it to the ground, and once again, he also manages to staple the Appalachian to the ground after a cool fight. But it just freaks out and knocks them all off.
Knocks them all off. And of course, as a joke, Jaime's like, I don't suppose we could talk to it, right?
And the Scarab's like, no, we shouldn't. That's weak. And he's like, wait, you can talk to it?
Like, wait, that's a possibility?
Yep, back with the intervention of Roy.
Yep, and then actually, this was when Roy mentions to Wally, like, oh, you got out of the gig, didn't you?
Yeah,
and
we
that's
also
when Wally's
see,
like, dude.
Him use whelmed on Robin.
Yeah, is whelmed. Yeah, and of course, Wally and White Nightwing are like, dude, we did the math.
Yeah.
The friend that we had that was Roy was you, not the real one.
Yeah, we've knew you for longer, and the whole time we've been friends with you, not the other Speedy.
And then, of course, there's more lamenting. I'm a clone.
He says, yeah, and they also say, if you want to help somebody, go help Kyle Duram, because he sounds like he needs it, and leave me alone.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much, yeah, that is very true. When I said, I'm just like, you can't really combat that one.
Oh, yeah, he's very right.
And then he just leaves.
Yep, but once again, we see Blue Beetle he's like, I have an idea, he's using the sound beams to try to communicate with the Appalachian.
You're right.
And we find out that it wants to be destroyed.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not... Yeah, the Appalachian's like, I'm going to this plant to kill myself.
Yep, and he's just like, whoa, it's crazy.
And of course, Connor's like, dude, we can help you. And all of a sudden, weird deep voice from way behind is like, can't let you do that, Superman. Takes out...
It does not say Superman.
Yeah, right. But
I know, yeah.
Joke, but anyway.
While Blue Beetle's using the beam to communicate, a similar looking beam hits at the same time. And
it's like a weird purplish color.
I know it's not a yellowish looking.
Either way, it was it was a very similar looking attack that was a different color.
But it hits the Appalachian and destroys it.
Wait, what? A sonic attack that actually killed it? Not actually got absorbed and redirected?
How's that possible? Blue Beetle is communicating with it, and he feels the pain when the thing is killed.
Yeah, and he is super sad that this happened.
And Connor thinks, Bruno and them must have gotten out, so they go back to the tree to find them, and
they're alive.
Yeah,
but they're comatose.
Yeah, they're knocked out and still stuck to the tree.
Oh no, they're not just knocked out. Like they have their eyes open and everything.
They're like messed up.
They are alive, but they're not responsive at all.
Yep, and well, they're like, what the hell happened here? We see Sportsmaster was the one who took them out, and he is still working for the light.
Yep.
Because they strayed from the light, that's what he says.
And of course he's like, wait a minute, so that golem, we needed that. That was a valuable resource. Mysterious voice goes, yeah, but a resource in the enemy's hand is best destroyed. And that's when Sportsmaster's like, you and I, we're going to be great friends.
Yep, we're going to get along. As we cut to Palo Alto, and we see Wally going home.
Going home, like to like an apartment house thing with a dog and things. And apparently, we hear a very familiar voice asking how it went.
Martin was asking what's going on, and we found out that they're in college and they're dating and they're just living together a normal human life.
Yeah, I mean, which I'm actually okay with this. Like seeing that Artemis and Wally are just being normal.
Yep, and is this when she says Happy Valentine's Day?
That's when he says Happy Valentine's Day because she's like, you remembered. He like, why would I forget Valentine's Day? on the 5th year in a row.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we get an adorable scene where she's like, I got your favorite food, everything.
Yeah, with a huge stuffed refrigerator. Final shot, though, is the disheveled-looking Roy stumbling into a weird, crappy, dirty apartment.
I don't even know if it's actually his or not, but it looks like dilapidated and everything.
Yeah, it's very
like
dilapidated.
And we hear another familiar voice, which is led by seeing Cheshire.
Yeah.
Yep, Cheshire is here. And she mentioned something big that he needs to stop freaking out about the real Speedy and take care of their daughter.
I was saying before that, she says that they're married.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that too.
And
they're
then,
married.
Yeah, and then we have a daughter. What the heck?
Dude, even Roy shocked at that. He's like, wait, we have a kid? And she goes, yeah. And what was the name?
The
child's name.
I didn't get it down.
Darn it, neither did I.
I don't think she said it. Just
no, she did. She actually says the full name.
Is Jade her name or the baby?
No, Jade is
Cheshire's real name?
But she actually says the baby's name.
I didn't get it down either.
I forgot to write that down.
I didn't write it down either.
But anyway, so she's like, look, you need to put Speedy's ghost to rest. I have one last lead.
Yep.
So we could be able to find him. And that's where the episode ends.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That was a real crazy one. But I was going to say the thing I wanted to talk about this episode was like retirement, hero retirement. Mm-hmm. Do you have any like famous ones that you can think of? Or the ones like stories that you like, just of them like saying, I'm giving up the life, I'm going to be normal.
Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
Yeah, I know it's happened a couple of times in different series. I'm never a fan of it.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. I can understand why. Mm-hmm. And in Wally and Artemis's case, I'm actually on board with it because they're still young.
Yeah, and also they're going to college.
Well, that too, but I'm just saying they're young, so it's not going to have as much of an impact. But like with older heroes that try to do this, there's too much on the line. Villains find out about that. Villains utilize this, and then of course it just goes right back down, and they have to re-become the hero again. It always happens, but in this case, I don't know what's going to happen. But they're young, they're younger, and there's not really much that's going to happen because they have each other.
Yeah.
So unless a villain decides to go over and be like, haha, I'm going to steal your girlfriend.
Given Artemis's family, it could easily happen at any point.
You're right.
Especially I just realized this episode introduced the whole family. With Sportsmaster, Cheshire, and Artemis are all back.
Yeah, but you forgot the mom. I
don't think she's gonna get around anywhere for the team to be actual talking about her.
Oh, hush up! It's a superhero show.
Yeah, she could easily
get healed.
Yeah, or robot legs or aliens or who knows. But yeah, I like how all the active villains of all the characters of that family came back in this episode. It's very cool.
And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this version of Roy at all.
The disheveled, crazy...
Yeah,
I'm just a stinky clone. I'm a smelly old clone. I don't have feelings. It's just...
Roy, what happened
They literally, like, 4 times in that intervention say, like, stop saying that. Like, Jim's a clone, and he's living a normal life, and he's happy. Like, we knew you for your entire life, and we love you, and we're friends with you. What are you talking about? Like, no, I'm just a smelly old clone.
I'm just a clone. Actually,
running away.
I think... but I think they actually did mention, like, trust me, one angry clone is enough. Have you met Superboy?
Yeah.
Like, we forgot that they actually mentioned that.
Superboy's living a perfectly normal life, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, come on.
Get
with it. And it's just like, no, you gave up on the real Speedy, and I'm a stinky clone.
But like also
even when I shower, I still stink of clone.
I was thinking of the other Roys I've seen in other stuff. The one in Arrow, he was cool because I knew him from another show, Teen Wolf, but like he barely had anything and he just disappeared for like 5 seasons because the actor went to do something else. And I was just like, oh, come on. And then this Roy sucks. Comic Roy, I'm pretty sure, had like about just this is rough, like deal with freaking crazy shit like drug addiction and all kinds of other stuff. That character's always having a shitty life.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like his life always goes rock bottom. At least right now.
Yeah, speaking of rock bottom, episode 5, Beneath. Stupid.
Someone had to. We actually start off in El Paso, where there's a kid with a bandit with like a little headband.
Long-haired Native American kid skating with Toon like it's the 90s.
Yeah, like it's the 90s, going to the bus stop.
He's got a grimace face and he's just skateboarding.
And And of course, as this is happening, we get Jaime, who is in bed, and he gets a call from some kid named Ty.
Yep, he's like, what's going on? We find out the Native American kid's name is Ty. We find out his last name later. It's Long Shadow.
Right.
But yeah, Ty is done with Maurice, and he's done being pushed around. He's going to catch a bus to... where is
Somewhere. I forget where he
Houston.
says.
Houston,
yeah. He's going to go to Houston and everything like that.
Yep. We see, he's like, oh, come on, man, chill out. That's dumb. Don't do that. And he's like, no, man, I'm going to do it. And the Beetle says, why are you wasting your time with this? Don't waste your time with your abilities with this. He's like, hey, man, I got to do this. He goes to stop him from getting on the bus, just as we see that he is taken by someone in the shadows.
Dun, dun. Wow, a long shadow getting stolen by a shadow. Never heard that one before.
But yeah, Jaime arrives there, and he talks to the bus guy, and he's like, sorry, nobody boarded the bus, and it's already left. He's like,
yeah, bus is already left, but you can get there tomorrow. Yep. And then all of a sudden, all we see is, as Jaime's walking away, we see pan over to
skateboard behind the statue of Cochise, the Native American hero. Intro.
Yep. And then after that, we cut to the bioship in Karak.
Yep, it's flying. Oh, we see it flying in front of the moon and then back down to Earth as it's landing in Karak. Nightwing is over the TV radio giving them the rundown, saying the source of the alien bomb. They may be related to the Bialya boom tube activity going on currently.
Oh yeah, okay. So apparently there's been a lot of a high output of boom tube activity, and of course the Alpha Squad, which is comprised of Batgirl, McGann,
Bumblebee,
and Wonder Girl.
Yep. McGann is concerned that Simon might still be there, but that was like, no, he's still in a coma and still being watched. It's fine.
However, Queen Bee is still alive and kicking.
Queen Bee is there, and while she share her powers work over men, that's why the team is all female. Batgirl, I would say, after I would say Batgirl's line about you wouldn't justify an all-male team, would you? And he's just like, oh, awkward, I'm not going to get caught in this weird conversation. Bye, guys.
Right.
And then they just laugh about it. They tricked him because of that.
Now, on a side note, when they first introduced Queen Bee in Season 1, they specifically stated that she has control over men and some women.
Yes. So that's presumably, I'm saying that no one on this team is gay or bi, presumably. Because I was going to say, in the couple of episodes ago with Garth's mother, that she was controlled by Queen Bee. We find out in the comics.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, she was able to control her. That's why she got her to kill herself by going to the thing and all that stuff. So, yeah, we presume that they don't say it outright, but I assume that's saying that, the girls here are presumably bi or gay, so that's why Queen Bee won't be able to control their minds.
Gotcha. But, speaking of things, we're going to go back to El Paso.
Where Jaime is going to Ty's parents.
Well,
or mother.
Parent.
Yeah,
because, he talks to Mrs. Longshadow. This is where the Longshadow gets dropped, by the way.
Yep, and we see that, also, I was going to say, if you know comics, you know that Long Shadow is the rebranding of Apache Chief.
Yeah, because
Apache Chief was presumably very racist.
Hey, you want me to be honest with you? You could have waited until later on, because that's when they explain it later on.
We do. But I was
gonna say,
either way,
point,
if you don't know already.
Long story short, Long Shadow, you can compare. You can actually be like, oh, that is Apache Chief, which I don't know. Is that even right to even say that because of the whole
the character Apache Chief? We're already discussing it at this point in the show early, but the character Apache Chief has been phased out since the Super Friends era. Long Shadow is the Native American who can grow very big now.
They only mention once, so yeah.
They say Apache Chief a couple of times, in the episode later, which we're going to get to in a second.
Right, well, right,
just because that's not the name of the superhero character anymore.
Right, okay. Well, anyway, apparently Ty left because he and Maurice had a disagreement.
Yep, he's been getting into fights, and he's constantly threatening to go to Houston very often.
And cue Maurice, who's a guy who works at Jaime's school, and he's big tough guy, big jerk too.
Yeah,
he's hey, I work at the school. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna send you to the principal's office.
Yeah, he vaguely threatens Jaime. Jaime's just I'm on free period, dude. You suck. And then he's like, all right, well, he almost gets in a fight with him.
Yeah, Maurice is the one who's like, oh yeah, so we're gonna take care of this kind of. He is a very abusive man.
Oh yeah, the mother seems very haggard, and it's very domestic violence seeming, and very and she's kind of ushers Jaime outside and says, "Don't worry, no, Maurice is really nice sometimes. It's fine. But Ty wasn't here and they didn't fight, so it's perfectly cool."
Every once in a while, Ty goes to his grandfather's house. You might want to check there.
Yeah, it's very tense scene, but. He's like, all right, well, if you need any help, just tell me, and then he leaves. And
then we go back to Bialya.
Yeah, back to Bialya. Did you fart, dude?
No, I didn't.
Okay, it's a little weird for a smell.
This place has a weird smell sometimes.
But let's see. We see back in Bialia, the team sees a giant base moving weapons in and out of the area.
Yep, and of course, everyone like Batgirl's like. I'm going to with Bumblebee and McGann gonna go in and we're gonna infiltrate. Wonder Girl,
like, what am I gonna do? Like
you get to stay back and
here.
watch.
Yeah, you're like you stay here and like, what's going on? They're saying, hey, if this is a big firefight, we want anyone else but you. But this is a stealth mission and you're a little abrasive, so you stay here.
Just we're using mental telepathy because we can't use radio.
Yep,
and go.
The other girls all successfully infiltrate very sneakily. While Wonder Girl's just sitting there being like, man, this sucks. I could have done that. I could have snuck in.
And as that's happening, she notices a truck where we see Devastation,
Yay.
Icicle Jr.,
all right.
Mammoth,
okay.
Shimmer,
boo,
and a weird hooded man who is revealed to be Simon. And of course,
my dumb pronunciation.
We might as well because. But anyway, Wonder Girl's like, uh-oh.
Yes.
I need to let the girls know. So she starts infiltrating.
Yep, because psychic communication is not going to be safe with Simon present.
And of course, she successfly sneaks in.
Yep.
Finds McGann and
sees her while she's invisible and gets to talk to her.
And just is like, shh, hey. She doesn't even say anything. She just like shushes her, points over, and just shows that, hey, there's Simon. And she's like, okay, I cut the telepathy. We need to get to the rendezvous now.
Yep, and it's very. She's like, okay. As McGann begins to try to find the others. This is when
Cassie goes to
fly. Like, yeah, I can do it. She sees another building. It's like, okay, I'm gonna find another building. Starts flying and is immediately spotted by Devastation. Who just jumps, grabs her, and slams her into the ground. Like, oh, what the hell is this?
Cut to Happy Trails.
Oh, just to sound the alarm.
Oh yeah, it's to sound the alarm and put everything on lockdown, pretty much.
Now with
cut to Happy Trails, where we see Jaime giving a man by the name of Howling Longshadow, which is Ty's grandpa, a glass of water.
Yeah, which he drinks very loudly the entire rest of the scene.
I think it's hilarious because it's like Ty's like, what should we do about?
Yeah, it's very long slurping scenes.
Yeah, it literally, it's like every time Jaime wants to ask something, it's like, slurp.
Yeah, it's very
answering
weird.
your question, slurp.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Long, oh yeah, that's right. I put the, hold on, I'm drinking, because literally, as he's doing it, he just puts up a hand, like, talk to the hand.
Stop. This is when he brings up the Apache Chief and Legacy.
And how also Maurice was jealous of Ty's dad, because... Ty's dad was the next Long Shadow, and of course Maurice was not.
Yeah, and we also said he's not jealous. That he's not jealous of Ty, but he's not important. And that Ty is on a spirit journey. All this alluded to. Also, I was going to say, but now talk about Long Space Shadow. The character was in Justice League. Was one of the people created by Cadmus or whatever to stop the Justice League when it went bad or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's along with those like fake Wonder Twins and the other two weirdos.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. But and of course also there's a brief alluding to Jaime and how the grandpa knows about what's going on.
A voice is inside of him, and he's like, "Man, this guy's crazy. Let's get out of here." And of course, the Beetle the entire time is telling him, "Attack, attack!"
He knows too much. Attack.
Just like we did mention earlier with Maurice, like showing
he's like,
the Beetle was just like use the plasma cannon and kill him now, and it's like, no, stop. He has to keep fighting the Beetle the whole time to not kill random people who are mean to him or weird to him.
Right, very, yeah. Very funny. And then, of course, after all that, after Jaime leaves, learning this information.
Yeah, he's like, he says, like, Ty's on a spirit journey, he'll be fine. He's just like, okay, this old man's weird and crazy. Maurice is still after it. I still think Maurice is behind us. I'm going to go find him.
Yep, and by the way, we should point out that every single time Jaime talks to someone, it's always loops back to, it's Maurice.
Yeah, it's got to be Maurice.
So
the Bialian troops.
Yep, back to Bialia, where everything's being locked down and everything.
Devastation's mocking Cassie regarding her Wonder Woman-esque appearance. Like, what are you, Wonder Brad? What's your deal?
Right, and then of course...
not knowing who she is, which is very peculiar. I was like, oh, shit, they don't know who Cassie is. And then Icicle Jr.'s like, who's that? And she's like, I don't know, she's not telling me. But,
And then, of course, Cassie breaks free and gets out.
Yep, very cool. He flies up in the air and throws her down. We just see like this brief
very strange Simon cut where it's like a zoom in on his face where he's like, look everywhere. Like literally for a brief second I'm like, why was this important?
Well, because I think Devastation's like, she's not alone, we gotta find her, she's probably has backup, we gotta find who she's with.
Right. And then we find Bumblebee
is locked inside. Yeah, no, she's like locked in, like she's trying to fly out the windows
right,
and
well,
stuff.
She goes into the vents actually.
Yeah. Well,
Right. And then she's like flying around, and all of a sudden we also see Batgirl stuck in a vent.
Yeah, she's not stuck. She's just really contorted in there.
Right.
I thought she was stuck too, but she gets out fine. She's just like, no, I'm just side travel because we're a Bat family knows how to go through vents because we've all played Arkham Asylum.
Right. And then of course, they're like, hey, the link's down. We need to go to the rendezvous and find out what's going on. And Batgirl's like, hey, actually, if we go down here, because she has like a little screen, kind of like Robin did. She's like, hey, if we go down here, we'll find like this big open area with like a hangar and everything like that.
Yeah, as they head down, they see a gigantic stone temple-looking place.
Yeah, and I think Bumblebee said it best. Can you say Temple of Doom?
Yeah, it's a very bizarre thing with a couple of computers like tic-tacking away at weird, crazy things underground.
Yep, and of course, as they're noticing all of this, they also notice some pods with a bunch of kids.
I would say Batgirl expertly sneaks around. They find the gigantic plane. And outside of the plane, they see a bunch of kids inside of pods. And like, what the heck's going on?
And as that happens, she gets mind blasted.
Taken out by Simon and the gang.
And he's just like, put them in the pod.
Yep. But we see, as we cut back after commercial break, Icicle Jr. says that all the kids in the pods are runaways. And Batgirl will be noticed. Yeah,
they're not going to be noticed. They're runaways. But this girl right here...
And Simon says he doesn't care. And Devastation's like, ooh, your brain's so sexy.
Yeah, and he gets hit on, literally and figuratively, by Devastation. He's like, I like your brain.
Yeah, Mammoth and Devastation start loading the kids onto the thing as bees, keeping an eye on them.
Yep, and then we cut back to Maurice in a shed. And
Maurice in a shed?
Yeah, Maurice at a shed.
Maurice at a shed?
Yeah.
You mean Jaime at a shed?
No, it's... Oh, that's right. Well, sorry, my notes. Yeah, Jaime's trying to break in, but Maurice comes in and like, literally threatens to pummel him.
Yeah, like, there's out of here. Breaking out any kid, I'll call the police and he'll be in trouble. And the bee is just like, kill him, he's behind everything. Like, Jaime says, you're behind it, you're one of the chief title. And Maurice is like, that's dumb, why would I want that?
Why would I want that? That doesn't make money, I want to make money. And of course, Jaime like goes past him, opens the shed to find a bunch of pirated things.
I was going to say, Maurice is a pirate of movies and games.
Of movies and games and stuff. And of course, Jaime's like, not Jaime, Maurice is like, mention this to anyone and I'll kill you.
Yeah, he's like, I guess
get lost.
Jaime says, okay, well, I guess he is clean, so what's the deal? I'll call the police on him about
the pirates later. I'll call the police on. So, where is Ty? And then he just leaves on that.
Yeah, McGann and Cassie are like pacing, like, oh man, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Where's the rest of the team? We can't communicate with them.
And then Bumblebee appears and says, hey, I'm safe, but Batgirl, she needs saved.
Yeah, she's been taken. The bad guys are still loading up and ready to go. McGann sneaks up behind Shimmer and knocks her out once again. Shimmer not doing anything at any point in the series.
Right, and then of course McGann, it looks like Shimmer.
Yeah,
so it's weird. So Shimmer punches Shimmer in the face and then stuffs Shimmer into a barrel.
B gets on the ship and saves Batgirl with a zap to the chest. Like, ow! It's just like, we learned that apparently Batgirl's a trained pilot of like a huge aircraft carrier looking plane.
Wow, the only superhero who can't fly.
Yeah,
no, she can. It's just a plane.
She's the only member of the team who can fly a plane.
And then of course, Simon realizes that Shimmer is not Shimmer because McGann puts lockdown on the ship, on the plane and everything. Yep. And Simon's like, haha, we've done this before, haven't we?
Yeah, they lock into battle and everyone, McGann's like, dude, I beat you last time. And everyone's like, dude, she beat you last time. He's just like, yeah, I know, I'm going to hold her here, kill her body while I'm holding her.
Literally, he's like, I know, this is a distraction, come on. And that's when Icicle Jr. kind of hits on him because I like your brain.
Your brain is pretty. Shimmer, when they mention that Shimmer's been taken out, Mammoth does look pissed for a second. I think it's his sister. I'm not sure. They looked vaguely similar when they first were introduced. They looked almost identical. Mammoth and Devastation start fighting Wonder Girl on the plane as they keep getting thrown everybody back and forth on top of the plane while they have a huge fight.
Right.
Very, very cool scene. Icicle Jr. is trying to get revenge for the whole Belle Reve
Belle Reve
terror thing.
And then of course Simon gets blasted by Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like zap, 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 and Simon's just like,
Yeah, I see what they're really painful, I guess. Megan takes out Icicle Jr. very easily, which is hilarious.
Oh, right. Just, that doesn't even blink, just bonk.
Yeah, Wonder Girl manages to toss both Devastation and
Mammoth
off of the plane.
And everything's going good.
Ready to go, but Mammoth picks up a giant...
forklift.
Is it a forklift? I thought they had buzzsaws on it when it hit the wing. That's very bizarre. But yeah, he picks up a forklift, throws it into the wing, and the plane begins to crash out of the side of a giant mountain.
And then, of course, McGann's like, I can't do my telepathy.
And Cassie's like, I can't hold this whole plane myself. It's going to crash. Like, you guys, we need help. And then the bioship comes and helps to lift the plane up. As
literally crane games it.
Yep, and grabs it, and they are managed to save. We see the team
back at Mount Justice, where
talking to Nightwing now.
And Nightwing actually makes a mention that apparently Simon was using some kind of weird mind powers on the nurses and doctors to make him seem like he was.
They were working on an empty bed, and this whole time.
And then McGann notes that there wasn't any alien tech, but apparently Queen Bee was a middleman for some unknown partner who wanted child trafficking, apparently.
Yeah, some weird thing. Let's talk about back in Bialia, we see Queen Bee say that at least they have the backup shipment ready to go. As we see 4 kids in pods, including Ty Shadow.
Dun, 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 dun. Thus ends our 5th and final episode for this episode.
I was going to say, this might be my favorite episode of the team, just because I like the whole searching for Long Shadow and Jaime doing his whole thing.
It was interesting because...
Yeah. Plus, I like the team. I like the all-girl team was a really cool team of characters that are all really good, interesting.
Yeah, and they have a very good chemistry. Yeah. Even Cassie, who was stealthier than anyone gave her credit for.
She met one person and then was immediately caught afterwards.
Oh, hush. she at least snuck in and did the important thing.
Yeah, she did her job and she was really, really good at it. She's just great. And also, I love how tough she is because she took down Mammoth and Devastation.
Yeah,
which are really cool fights.
One of the most interesting things. I mean, obviously we just talked about it, but when I heard the grandfather talking about the Apache chiefs, I'm like, don't you do this to me, Young Justice?
You don't remember Ty Shadow?
I know. No, when he said the Apache, I'm like, don't put Apache Chief in here. Don't do this.
How dare you? Apache Chief is great.
No, he's not. He just turns big.
Did you see Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law? He had a great episode.
Fair enough. But one good deed does not fix anything. Even that cameo in Family Guy did not help him.
Apache Chief is great. I was glad to see him back again.
But anyway, I mean, it is a good callback, which means other DC characters, because I don't know, like some of those weird offhanded ones.
The Podkids are all major heroes.
Well, right, but I'm saying like the Wonder Twins. They're DC property, aren't they?
Technically Hanna-Barbera. All the people from Super Friends who weren't originally from comics, including the Wonder Twins, Apache Chief, the 2 other ones who were in that team in Justice League Unlimited, where technically I think it's very nebulous if it's Warner Brothers or Hanna-Barbera that owns them.
Now that we know it's nebulous.
That's why he was able to appear into Harvey Birdman, which is all Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Well, right, yeah. But still, bringing them into DC now, who knows, maybe we'll see other ones.
They appeared in Teen Titans Go and stuff.
Except for one problem.
Funny about them. Yeah.
Except for one problem. I'm on the boat where I'm not very interested in watching Teen Titans.
I was going to say, let's say the podcast this morning on YouTube, randomly the clip with the Young Justice team crossing over to Teen Titans about, it was Aqualad, Miss Martian, and Superboy, stopping villains while the Teen Titans are being stupid, and the whole time Aqualad's like, you guys.
Wait, there's an episode like that?
Yeah, it's very funny. It's an episode where they get serious for a second.
Why are you giving me reasons to watch that show?
You can look up that clip if you're not interested. But the Wonder Twins are funny when they're made fun of. But they're all, I like the whole dynamic of all of them. And Apache Chief I appreciate. It was a really good callback to that character.
Right, I'll give him that. It is a nice call. It was kind of refreshing to see one hero that really didn't get a lot in is actually going to get some light, maybe. So, any other closing thoughts on this whole thing?
No, I thought it was a very interesting batch of episodes for the first 5.
But yeah, it kind of hurt my head when I was first watching. Well, I had to watch these episodes 3 or 4 times just to get the information because there was a lot.
Oh yeah,
we're already a fourth of the way through this season. Spoilers: there's 20 episodes.
Yeah.
And there was just so much going on. I felt like in the cartoons when there's someone carrying something and they just keep piling everything on and on to the point where they're trembling.
I remember the first episodes all were pretty one-off. This is all a consecutive plot feeling. Like, it's all really, really, like, one long
Right,
story.
well, right, yeah, but it's just, there are so much in just a few episodes.
Oh,
so.
yeah. It's very much worth it. I love that. I love when
Oh,
series
yeah,
are, like, actual
don't get me wrong.
story-based.
I like that. It's just, when I was doing my notes, at least for this one, I
Yeah.
forgot it was like this. So it kind of like made me get all tired and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But now that I know what to expect, I can do this.
I'm gonna say I took like almost like a week break between the episodes because like it's a ton.
Yeah, it was a
I don't know if
lot.
we covered 5 in the first season at any point. We all did 4 every time. So this
Yeah, well, right, but even then there wasn't a lot of information.
yeah. It was mostly a lot of one-offs and a lot of fighting. This series
Yeah.
just a lot of like just plot and
Information,
discussion
yeah.
and came with new characters everywhere.
It's like season 1 was all fighting and less RP. This one is exposition. But anyway,
I appreciate it. I love it. I'm really looking forward to it because I barely remember this season. I'm loving seeing all this stuff again.
yeah. And another spoiler, I don't have any plugs.
Oh,
What about you?
alright. Forgotten Minotaur King. Check it out. Matthew Lewis P on Twitter. Matthew Lewis Podcasts on Patreon and YouTube. Check them all out. I need my follows and I need my 5-star ratings. Well, that's gonna be it for this week's episode. Keeping it sleazy as always.
We need a new catchphrase.
Yeah, Ben's trying to push this catchphrase thing because he's sick of stealing mine. What do you got?
No, I'm not sick of stealing yours. I just don't want to keep hearing you be like, "Oh, hey, stop stealing my catchphrase."
Well, you come up with something now on the spot. No dead air.
No, I'm not going to.
All right. Well, I guess we're just gonna keep it sleazy as usual. Bye.